Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core for Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, peoples. Happy first week of May. Fingers crossed it'll be summer soon. As always, guys, before you kick it going, a couple shameless plugs for ourselves. If you could please subscribe to this podcast if you have not done so yet. And it'll help us keep growing this thing for you guys, and it'll get updated and help us boost us up the charts. I think we're on pretty much every single major platform, including now YouTube, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, we're on there. But if you subscribe, it'll keep bumping us up higher and higher and higher up the charts. That way we can get more listeners and keep growing this thing and keep helping more people. If this has helped you in any way, shape, or form, guys, if you could share it with people, spread the word, spread the love, and we'll keep cranking these things out for you. Now, today's podcast, I want to talk to you, and now we went kind of last time into mindset. This week, one of the things that helps me out a lot is when I hear or see how other people operate. And so I'm going to kind of peel back the curtain today and talk about what I do basically day in, day out. Everybody wants to go, okay. And then I'm not saying the way I eat or the way I operate or the way I work out is applicable to everybody, but I know it can help a lot of people, kind of me serving as a template to kind of go off of. So here is kind of the nuts and bolts on how I operate day in, day out, what I do, what I eat, what I don't eat, the way that I train, and all that stuff. And if this can help you, or you want to steal my exact formula and copy away, you're absolutely more than welcome to. Now, again, all of this works for me and the way that I live my life, guys. If you try this and you're like, this just isn't working, tweak some things. There's some wiggle room. You're not going to break whatever the magic formula is. But I've dabbled with tons of different diets, tons of different nutrition protocols, tons of ways of working out. And what I have going for me right now, I've been working on for pretty much the past 3-4 years. I've had more energy. I haven't gotten injured, knock on wood. And I've felt great pretty much every single day by living my life like this. Now, as far as what I eat nutrition-wise, I do intermittent fasting, and it works for me just because of the way that my day lines up. So I have a window of generally 8 hours of eating, and then the rest of it, I'm in a fasting period. So what is that? 16 hours, I think, of fasting. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. And my eating window generally goes from either 11 to 7 or 11:30 to 7:30. Now in that range, in a nutshell, as long as I'm making consciously smart decisions, loading up on protein, avoiding all the garbage, I stay in my nice little kind of 3 to 4 pound bubble most of the year, right? I might tick up a little bit around the holidays. It's okay. I know it's going to come right back off. And then when I'm really going into kind of high gear, I want to get shredded before the summertime, I can just focus on getting it on the other end of the spectrum, those last 3 pounds. And essentially what you're doing is running off of your fat reserves when you're not eating. So let's say I stop eating at 7:30. I have 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, and going into the next day until 11:30, I've burned off and utilized all the food that was in my belly. And then my body is also turned on its fat reserves as a fuel source to keep me pumping as well. So it's a great way to kind of keep your body fat nice and low. I find that I get a lot more energy this way. Some people say that they don't, but for me, just kind of ridding my body of all this stuff and not having to, let's say, eat dinner at 9 o'clock, that's sitting in your belly. And then you wake up in the morning and you have breakfast. So you're just stacking another meal on top of it. I feel slow. I feel sluggish. So I like kind of the feeling of just burning up everything and then kind of starting fresh again at 11:30. And like I said, the great thing with fasting is, at least for me, everybody again will be treating this differently. as long as I make conscious decisions, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to stress out about if I had, a sandwich and it had some bread on it, because I know once I stop eating at 7 or 7:30, I'm going to have all that time to burn that stuff off. Just the way our schedules are here at the gyms, where we run sessions in the mornings, we kind of have a break from like 10 till, let's say, 4, where I can do emails, podcasts, phone calls, all that kind of stuff. And then we kick off again in the afternoon from 4 to 7. It just happened to work like perfectly. I'll wrap up here, let's say around 11 o'clock, go home. By the time I go in, kiss the kids, say hi to everybody, I'll start whipping up food. By then it's usually 11 or 11:30. And then when we're wrapped up at the gym, I'll have dinner whenever I get back. And then that's my day. It's pretty much set in stone, pretty darn easy. Now, the caveat I will say is the weekends, I give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So on Sunday mornings, if we make breakfast and have it as a family, I'm not just the asshole that's sitting in the corner like, I must be diligent with my routine. Sorry, kids, dad cannot eat with you. So I build that into it, right? So I'm really, really good Monday through Friday. Saturday, if we order pizza or the kids are out late or we want to do breakfast in the morning, I let that be that. If the kids are gone or they're staying at somebody's houses, I'll just stay with my same routine. Um, and then I'll just keep, going. But I usually give myself a day or 2 days. I don't completely cheat. It's not like I'm eating crap, but I just go a little bit lighter on the fasting to kind of have more family time. And that seems to work well. Now, with waking up, when I wake up, I do two things. Obviously, get up, brush your teeth. I have my clothes laid out for me, so I already am good to go. I can sleep as much as I sleep in as late as I possibly can. Everything is done for me the night before. Wake up, brush my teeth, go downstairs. I slam 2 giant glasses of water as the Keurig thing is prepping itself and getting nice and warm. Reason being, when we sleep, we have not drinking anything for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, depending on how much you're sleeping. Generally, what people do is we wake up and we go right down and we make coffee. Coffee, yes, it has caffeine, which means it's a diuretic, which means that makes you go to the bathroom, and that dehydrates you. So you get this big, huge energy spike and then a crash, and then you want more coffee. Big, huge spike and then a crash. And everybody's going through these big, huge roller coasters. But in the meanwhile, you're like, I can't get my energy regulated, and you haven't drinking any water. So I recommend all of you guys, when you first wake up, make 2 big, just 16-ounce glasses of water, slam one, take a breath, slam another one, take a breath. And then if you want to go into the coffee, then at least you're hydrated. If you want to really spice it up, the pink Himalayan salt, do a couple sprinkles of that, and either squeeze a lemon or some lemon juice. That'll get some vitamins, some minerals. Think of it almost like a homemade Gatorade almost. So you're kind of supercharging your body right when you wake up. And you'll feel like $1,000,000 if you do that and then have coffee. So that is my morning routine. Then I go to work. I pencil in 95% of the time, I will say, try to work out at either 8:30 or 9:30, depending on what I have going on that day. Reason being, I like to get it done early. Once the day starts to get ahead of me and emails start coming in and phone calls start coming in, and then you got kid stuff, and I got to pick up, our kids from school, and then you're running around. You're like, oh shit, I wanted to work out at 4:30. Now I got all this stuff going on. Someone's texting me. There's a problem with this account. And then you're like, oh, this has to get pushed back. It's so much easier just while everybody's kind of still at least asleep or getting their day started to get your workout done. And then okay, I got the whole rest of the day completely wide open for whatever emergencies or disasters hit. If they never hit, then great, cool, easy day. But I'll at least get my workout in, and I know that's completely covered. So usually by 11 o'clock, I will have gotten in a workout. I will have fasted. I'm eating my first meal of the day. I've drinking my coffee. I've drinking my water. I've gotten all my emails, the important stuff done from work. I followed up on the phone calls usually by 11 or 11:30. That's a lot of crap to get done before 12. And the goal is, or the way that I build everything is kind of to purposely like that. So that from 12 onward, all the crazy stuff that happens, if it never happens, sweet, easy day. I got all the important stuff done. If there are stuff that at least I know I got a big, 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 big window to accomplish any tasks that might come my way. Now, there's the occasional day where I'm super sore. I didn't get enough sleep that I'm like, okay, I'm going to go home, just take a power nap, and I'll work out in the afternoon. But I generally try to cement it in. And the key is cementing it in, is not going, I was going to work out at 4:30, but it stormed. And so I'm not going to work out today. People, we can convince ourselves into doing just about anything, true or untrue. So if you plan on, getting to the gym around five is a very vague term. Is that 4:30? Is it 4:45? Is it 5:30? Is it 5:15? We don't know. So you have to submit it in like it's an appointment, like it's on your schedule, like it's a work meeting that you can't miss. That's how you get things done. That's how you kind of stay in a nice rhythm. Our bodies are naturally designed to be, creatures of habit. We don't like to break routines. It's tough on our body. So when you're constantly doing the same thing, your body gets in a rhythm, you get in a rhythm, and it just becomes autopilot. But when you break it, both good and bad, it takes time to kind of reset and get back into it. Now, in terms of exercise, like we touched on, I usually work out 8:30 or 9:30 unless I have a crazy morning or we got a bunch of new people and I have to bump it to the afternoon. Um, but as far as what I do our core four workouts every single day. And I play hockey on Saturdays usually. And then the rest of the time, I'm just kind of focusing on making sure that I get 10,000 steps in. There was an old part of me that when things weren't as regulated and going so smooth, that just tried to murder myself every single time I felt fresh. Where I would go, okay, I feel good today. I'm going to do 2 of our workouts, and then I'm going to go for a jog outside, and then I'm going to do this. And the next day, I would be whooped. And I think a lot of that, the older you get, kind of the smarter you have to train. You have to realize you're not a spring chicken anymore, and you just don't bounce back as quickly as you used to. So me trying just to completely whoop my butt in the gym didn't really go as great as I had planned. I would get sick. I'd be exhausted. I have to take 2 or 3 days off for rest. And then what does that do? You're kind of taking 1 step forward and then 3 steps back all the time. So they've done studies and they found that people over the course of a week actually got better results going at 70 to 80% of what their maximum capability is than trying to redline it every single day. And they gave the example. They go, if it's Monday and you feel fresh, right? You're going at 100% or you're 102% and you're kicking butt in the gym. Naturally, the next day, your body's going to be pretty run down, right? Maybe you can only get it to 90%. Wednesday comes, you got 2 days of that now. And you're like, okay, I'm operating at 70% now. Friday comes, you're so beat up that you're like, I'm just kind of going through the motions. And essentially, that's what I was doing. So now I go, okay, focus more on your diet, focus on the things outside of the gym, get your workout in, but you don't have to completely murder yourself. So that way you can wake up the next day and do the same thing over and over and over. But as far as, your training styles and what you believe in, it all depends on the individual. I don't really want to be 230 pounds. I've almost been that big. I wasn't very healthy. It was after we had our first kid, but my whole training mechanism was different. I was doing a ton of deadlifts, a ton of squats. For whatever reason, I was at a place where I just wanted to get like big and strong and kind of see how far I could push it. But when I did that, hockey, I sucked at. I was exhausted. I was burnt out after 2 trips down the ice. And so now, as long as I can kind of stay either at or just like right below 200 pounds, I feel great. I have the most energy. I don't feel weak. I feel like I'm strong still. I feel like I can kind of do a little bit of everything. I feel like I can go for a run and not be completely whooped. I feel like I can lift heavy things and not be completely whooped. So I kind of found this sweet spot. And like I said, if you want to go be a huge power lifter, more power to you. If you like running, more power to you. But at least for me, as long as I can kind of keep moving, stay moving, and not feel like, oh my God, my back is going to go out at any moment. That's kind of what my goal is now. Is kind of stay in my sweet spot, preserve my muscle, get a little bit stronger, keep my body fat nice and low. I'm sure you guys know, but the older you get, the more challenging that becomes. Your muscle mass starts to go down a little bit. Your bone density starts to dissipate. Maybe not right now, but once we get a little bit older, it will. So it's super important, if you don't already, to incorporate some strength training. So that way you can actually keep your bone density and keep your muscle tissue that you need. Now, that gets me through the morning training, fasting, and going into afternoon and nighttime mode. So I have this routine that usually once a day, I just have like an hour power down where no social media, no phone. I'll just close my eyes. Sometimes I'll fall asleep, sometimes I won't, but just like a decompression of my brain. Um, the gyms are loud. There's bells, there's whistles, there's emails, there's phone calls, there's this, and then my own phone, emails, and phone calls, and friends, and text messaging, and family, and do this and be there. It's just a lot of stimulus. And so, at least for me, like some people can handle that great. I need just like an hour of just like get that shit out of there, just come back to reality, and then I'm good to go again. Like I said, I just close my eyes, doze off. Sometimes I'll think about who knows what, maybe where we want to go on vacation or stuff I have to do during the week. Like I said, sometimes I'll fall asleep, sometimes I won't, but just an hour to kind of clear my head pays dividends, right? And that works for us. I don't know if you have like a work at a bank or something. I don't know how kind they would take to you just putting your head down on your desk and saying there's too much stuff going on, I need to sleep. But the way that our gyms are set up and our schedule's set up, we have a big chunk in the afternoon to get stuff done. So I have kind of just a 1 hour relaxation, turn off my brain mode, and then it does help. Just I feel 10 times better every single time that I do it, just kind of getting that second wind for the second half of the day. Now, some days I'll have to pick up our daughter from school. Some days my wife will do it. And then usually, like I said, I'll break my fast around 11 or 11:30. I'll whip up some eggs, egg whites, have like some toast and butter. I try to go protein pretty much for every single meal. I try not, even though I love, 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 love cereal, I try not to do it unless it's like a special occasion because I can eat the whole damn box. So the first thing I usually eat in the day is eggs with some toast, a little bit of carbohydrates. In the afternoons before I go back into work, I'll usually make like a wrap with like turkey and like a low carb tortilla wrap thing. Again, focusing on protein. Sometimes I'll have a protein shake with that or bring a protein bar with me back to work. And that's my lunch. Sometimes I'll have an apple. And then, like I said, dinner time, we'll kind of have whatever the family's having together. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is if you're not a morning person, start to become a night person. And what I mean by that is use the night to your advantage to set yourself up for a win in the morning. I don't want to wake up earlier than I have to. I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same way, especially during the work week. So in terms of, me wanting to wake up at whatever, 4 some odd 30 or 4:15 in the morning, shower, look for my stuff, flick the lights on. We got kids sleeping, wife sleeping. That's just not going to happen. So the night before, I get my clothes ready. I'll usually shower the night before, have all my stuff laid out. And then so that way, literally all that I have to do when I wake up, walk into the bathroom, brush my teeth. Luckily, I have the best work uniform ever and get to wear sweatpants or basketball shorts every day. So that takes a whole 5 minutes. And then I have that pretty much on just rinse and repeat every single day. Now, with the weekends, here's where I would say 99.9% of people get mixed up. They're very good Monday through Friday because they have a routine and because they have to get up at a certain time and they usually have to go to bed at a certain time. But on the weekends, when it's all willy-nilly and you're like, we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, we can go to breakfast, we can go out to lunch, we can go to dinner, that's when things begin to fall apart. So generally on the weekends, we kind of have one meal where it's just not scripted, whether we want to go out to eat or whether we want to order a pizza. It could be in my fasting window, out of my fasting window, but that's not to say I throw away the entire weekend, right? 2 full days of just sabotage is going to wipe out whatever you did the past 5 days. You can't go getting fast food ordering Grubhub, going out to breakfast, going out to dinner, getting a pizza, let's go out for drinks, and expect things to move in the right direction. Maybe that could fly when you were 18, 19, 20 years old, but I guarantee you when you get into 30s and try that, going to be impossible. So you still are a human being. You still have a life to live. So don't feel like you have to get stuck in this box. But, people have this thing of cheat days and it's my cheat day. There should never be a cheat day. There should never be a full day of you going just no holds bars. Whatever I want, I'm putting in my mouth. Good luck getting any kind of results doing that. Now, you can have a cheat meal. You can go, okay, I was really, really good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is family night. We're going to order a pizza and watch a movie. Sunday, I'm just going to get right back on track. That stuff is totally fine. But I think a lot of people see the weekend as kind of this earned part, or like that's like revenge for how good they were during the week. And you don't want it to become that, guys. You're going to be in this endless cycle of busting your butt for 5 days. Monday comes, you're feeling guilty, and you're starting back over. So whatever you choose for kind of a program to follow, have a definitive list of rules for yourself. Don't go, I'm so willy-nilly on whatever I'm doing that I'm doing intermittent fasting on Monday, but on Tuesday I'm going to go low sugar or no sugar, but then on Wednesday I'm going to do low carb, but then on this I'm going to do this. That's not a plan. You're just kind of closing your eyes and grabbing whatever you can find. You have to have a definitive plan. And there's nothing wrong with saying what works for me might not work for you, or what works for your neighbor might not work for you. Everybody kind of has to have their own lifestyle, which is exactly what it is, right? Becoming healthy is a lifestyle change. So you have to find the change that's going to fit into your lifestyle. I think I talked about this, and maybe it was the last podcast we did, but I love pizza. I love breadsticks. I love all that stuff. And usually once a week we have a pizza night with our kids. It's cheap, it's easy, and we know that they'll eat it. So I know whatever program I want to follow for my lifestyle, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to have pizza. I'm just going to sit on my hands. Not going to work like that. So be realistic with yourself, but hold yourself to a standard. Hold yourself accountable, and don't just do something because Joe Schmo did it across the street or they saw good results. If it works for you, great, but it's not the be all end all with becoming healthy. And ultimately the goal, remember, is how do I apply this to my life? Like I touched on in the beginning of this episode, I've tried things. I've tried to go 100 miles an hour in one direction only to have it all kind of come crashing and burning down. But this is at 37, the best that I've felt my entire life, both in energy wise, keeping trucking all day long on top of the kids and driving and gymnastics and pickups and school and the gyms and my own workouts. The fact that I'm able to do all this should be a testament to whatever I'm doing is working. So that is what I do. The other thing, water. I drink a ton of water. I try to get at least 3 of these down a day, which is, where the hell does it say it on here? Maybe it's 36 ounces. There's a bunch of different sizes of these, and of course the sticker's covering it up. I think it's 36 ounces though. Easiest way to make sure you're hydrating, guys, instead of going through 20,000 of I'll give you an example. These things, if you're watching, water bottles. They're convenient when you're in a pinch, yes. But you guys know if this is not around, you're probably not going to be drinking it. It's the out of sight, out of mind thing, right? If it's not in front of you, you don't see it, so you're not going to take a sip of water. And these things end up getting everywhere. Just use our gym for an example. There's water bottles everywhere. People forget them. They end up rolling around in your car. And it's, again, if it's not in front of you, odds are you're not going to drink it. So the easiest way is just to grab one of these, fill it up all the way to the top, take it with you, put it in your car. You can take it home. You can take it to work. And that way, okay, by 7 o'clock, I got to have 3 of these down at least. That way, I'm going to hydrate. A lot of people, and hydrating is just water, guys. That doesn't include pop, coffee, energy drinks, tea, straight up plain old fashioned water. Get it in. It's one of the easiest things you can do to lose weight and be healthy. I'm telling you. If you guys would just drink water, get sleep, and get 10,000 steps, nothing super mind-blowing, right? Pretty darn easy stuff that you can replicate day in and day out over and over and over again. So that's it. That's a typical day. I get protein with all my meals. That kind of leads the charge, and then I fill in the gaps with whatever if I want to have an apple or something like that. Nothing too mind-blowing, nothing too uncharacteristic or, oh my God, I can't do this. But yeah, blah, 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 blah. I think that's it, peoples. What else do I got for you? That is it. If you have purchased my book, thank you, thank you, thank you. The You Are Your Hero book, we reached the #1 bestseller. We reached #1 in new releases. If you have not purchased it, it's on Amazon called You Are Your Hero by myself, Cory DeMaria. It's only $12 and it'll ship to your house in 2 days. So thank you for those of you that did purchase it. If you need supplements, guys, as always, head to core4supplements.com. Since you're a podcast listener, if you're watching or listening to this and you use the code word podcast at checkout, you will save 10% off of your entire order. And if you spend over $100, you get free shipping on everything. So if you want to grab a month's full or 2 months full of stuff and get the free shipping on it, you can just get a big old haul at once and you'll be good for a while. But that is all, peoples. Long one today. Hopefully that helped you guys. Hopefully if you can copy and paste my whole formula, you can take tidbits if you want. But I know one of the things that works best for me or the way that I learn things is kind of taking ideas from people and going, I think I could apply that. So hopefully it helped you guys. Nothing too mind-blowing, but we tend to overthink things, overprocess things, and overcomplicate things. So keeping it simple is what works for me 99% of the time, and hopefully it works for you. But that is all, guys. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great rest of May. Behave yourselves. Keep kicking butt. And we'll see you all in here next week. Adios.